For the tiger nut milk, here are the ingredients. Start by measuring your tiger nut. Now, this tiger nut, I bought it dried, okay? And I soaked it for 3 days, changing water at interval. Every day I change water. Another way you can do is to select and wash, then place in your fridge for 3 days with water inside. Okay, then after that you measure 650 grams of your tiger nut. And for this tiger nut, I am going to be using my 2 bananas, my coconut, 1 whole coconut, and for the date I'll be using just 100 grams. But before I measure it, let me show you how you can open it and remove the seed. Now, date seed is very strong. You can't grind it, mostly when you're using your blender. So it is very, very important that you remove it. So the next is my ginger. And for the ginger, I will be using 50 grams. You can increase it, you can reduce it. Let it be just according to your taste. So after removing all the seeds from the dates, I just measured my 100 grams of dates. Now for these dates, I washed thoroughly because you don't have to blend it while it is still very, very strong, okay? Wash it and soak it in a very small water that you can blend together the next day. But this must be kept in the fridge. So after washing this, the third time I'm washing it. After washing it, I'm going to now place it inside the bowl, the same blue bowl, and I'll add a little water in it. Then I'll place it in the fridge. Okay? So this is the water I have. I have just poured a little water into the bowl, and I am adding my date. Now this date is going to be placed in the fridge together with the water, and by tomorrow I will blend it together with the water also. Now for the ginger, make sure to remove the skin, that is by peeling it off. Alright, then after peeling all of them, you also set aside. Next, we can now start blending it. While the blending is going on, one of my girls is helping me to pieces the coconut, okay? Because all of them are going to be blended together. So for blending, I am blending it a little at a time because I'm using my blender. Okay, if you are grinding it in the market, you can grind all at a time. But here I'm using my blender and I don't want to destroy the blender. Remember, this is a hard nut. Even though you have soaked it and it's soft, it's still very strong. So now this is the date that I soaked yesterday. You can see it's now softened. And this is also my ginger inside it. So I'm pouring it into the tiger nut to blend them together. Alright. Now, tiger nut milk easily gets soured. So what did I do? I am using cold water to do this blending. The reason why it gets sour so fast is because on the process of blending, you see it becoming very hot. So the milk does not withstand that hotness for too long. And before you know it, it will sour. It will get soured. Okay? All you need to do is to make sure that the water you are using to blend is very chilled. And if possible, as you are pouring, throw a little bit of some ice block into the bowl to still maintain room temperature. By so doing, it will never get spoiled before using it. So I have been able to blend all the tiger nuts, but this time a little at a time until everything is well blended. And I'm now going to add my banana. Start by removing the coat and then cut them into chunks as you're adding them into the blender. Now blend and pour into the already blended tiger nut. And after that, the next thing we're going to do now is to blend our coconut. But for the coconut, we're going to be blending separately so that our blender will be able to carry it. Okay, now you have to blend everything together. Guys, you have to blend and pour everything together. Now there's something you must note. Make sure you don't use too much water if you don't want your tiger nut to be too watery. Now you can see how the coconut was actually pieces, and I'm pouring it now into the blender. Okay, Now, because coconut is also a hard nut, I had to remove everything from the blender and make sure I blend that one separately, but I'm still going to pour it into the blended tiger nut milk. So after blending, the next thing now you can see everything is together is to now sieve. And for the sieve, I'm going to be using this chiffon-like cloth that they normally sell in the market, that some people normally use to sieve pap, to save it. And this is because I don't want chaff, okay, to enter inside. So now after removing with your hand, wash your hand, because I did this behind camera, and then hold it together and begin to press to bring out the water. Now another thing you can do is you may decide to blend your banana separately, and then after sieving this water, you sieve the banana separately into the water. It will also help it to thicken. Remember, banana here is serving as a sweetener and also as a flavor. Okay, so sieve, and after sieving, you can see our tiger nut milk is ready. The next thing you are going to do now is to send it straight to the fridge, because as at this point it is not very cold. All right, send it to the fridge, let it chill very well, and then you bring it out and start pouring it into the cans, assuming you are selling. Okay, even though you are not selling it, it still have to be in the cans for consumption. All right, so that is it. I brought it out from the fridge when it is already very chilled, and I am pouring it. Now if you don't do it this way, on the process of after blending, you want to start pouring it in the can, it may get spoiled and get soured. Okay, that's why I allowed it to stay in the fridge a little bit before pouring it into the can. So you can actually use your own can, customized can, or even a can with a label. That is, if you have a label placed on it. Okay, and after the whole thing, you can see it ready. Thank you so much for watching. Bye for now.